This year is really the year where I was finally able to just completely, heal and biohack my body, my energy. It's just been incredible.
Welcome to the Energy Upgrade Podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Grutman. And if you are a high-achieving woman, a successful entrepreneur, an inspiring entrepreneur, or just a woman with kick-ass big dreams, you're in the right place. If you value your energy, your health, if you want to be a biohacker, tap into longevity, if you want to raise the impact you have in this lifetime, you're going to have a lot of fun around here. As a second-time seven-figure business creator, certified health practitioner, and soul biohacker, I'm here to reconnect you to your energy, to the soul of your business, and to your superpowers. Let's go. Welcome home.
Welcome to the Energy Upgrade Podcast. This is your host, Vanessa Grutman. And here we are, meeting today on December 31st, 2024. The last day of the year. And I feel like I could have literally a 6-hour episode. This year felt like a warp zone, like I entered somehow a portal and things just escalated at a hypergrowth speed. It's been the most exciting year of my life, I can say this, yet I know that the best is still to come. That's just a crazy feeling to think that so much has happened this year, yet I know deep down in my soul that we're just beginning. And today I really want to bring you some solid heart-to-heart inspiration. Because if you're listening to this podcast, we are beyond our 100th episode now. It's because you know that everything I share here, you have this in you as well. You are attracted here because I am a mirror for you to reflect back at you the possibilities that you can decide to take on, to move with, and that you can decide to explore. And I want to invite you behind the scenes of my first $1 million cash year. And it's just incredible how things have escalated, how things have scaled up. And I feel like there's two big realizations that have helped me get there. And I want to share that with you today because I can tell you these realizations are going to be even more important in 2025. They're going to be even more critical. And so I'm wanting to have this conversation with you to leave an imprint, even just for myself, something that I'll be able to look back to and go back to on days where I'm feeling overwhelmed, lost, you name it, those days. So I want to take you behind the scenes and I want to leave this, like I said, as a memory almost for myself, because it's a big milestone and I'm super proud of it. Because 2024 is not only the year where I really made this officially a 7-figure business in a year, it's the year where I reached $1 million in June. So $1 million, business to date, if you will. So it took me 17 months to grow my coaching business and bring it to $1 million. And when I talk about this, I'm always talking about cash in. I'm not talking about sales. I'm talking about the money that came in the bank. But it also was, and most importantly, the year where my husband was able to retire from his 23-year corporate job as an actuary, a job that he just wasn't feeling excited about anymore. And he, had the balls and felt the financial confidence, he had enough evidence seeing the growth of the business to be able to make that bold move, think about him, his desire, and bring his contribution to the business so we could build this empire together and really create legacy, which ultimately is how we want to create wealth. And so we were able to join forces back in April this year, which was a huge deal for us. It was also a year where we traveled a ton, from going to different conferences to spending a month in Costa Rica during the winter. We went to Europe. We did so many things. And it was the year where we realized oh my gosh, we've unlocked location freedom. And this was so satisfying. It's also the year where I invested in myself the most in terms of personal development. I went all in. I started the year with like a big spiritual retreat where I was completely offline for 10 days and and one day I will talk about this experience. But yeah, a big spiritual, deep journey. And it led me to just reconnect with old parts of me, reconnect with my power. It's also the year where I really was able to realize that the 12 years of entrepreneurial experience were really the backbone of my business, and that my personal experience recovering from burnout, as well as my certification as an integrated health practitioner, were two really important pillars, the foundations of my teachings. And so I stopped hiding. I stopped not talking about it. I decided to claim that and really be unapologetic. And it's interesting how, in January this year, my first launch was called Unapologetic. And now I look back and I smile. I was like, okay, that set the tone pretty straight, pretty strong right from the get-go. And I feel like unapologetic was a theme that stayed with me all throughout the year, where I got to actually really challenge myself to be even more unapologetic. And you will see, actually, this is part of one of my big realization from this year. It was also a year where, of course, we supported both our children in growing their zones of genius and really looking at them and giving them space to develop themselves, to experiment with life. And it's just been really a powerful year to notice where we could even, support them even more in their personal development, in their growth, in their evolution, in their self-discovery. And so that's been really amazing to witness. And yeah, it's just been a year of ongoing self-mastery. I've also invested in this like incredible mastermind that really showed me wherever I still had remnants of people pleasing, of, playing small, of shrinking myself, imposter syndrome. I mean, all the yucky things that I know can't come with me for the ride. It just can't. And I feel like I've unlocked that. Now it's like, okay, I have the full conviction, and I know this and I can say this. I am completely transforming the business coaching industry because you've been lied to. It is not about strategies. It's about the energy. And I can say this now with so much conviction because not only did I, sold out my retreats, not only did I help hundreds of clients this year, but I really saw the deep transformations. I saw them online. I saw them in person. I saw them in people's lives, in the way they handled their relationships, in the way they decided to grow and go for it, in the way they 10x their business. I mean, I saw it. And now I have full on conviction that there is nothing like this on the market. I offer something completely unique where I care not only about the health of your business, but your health. Because there's no meaning to grow a 7-figure business if your cortisol is through the roof and you skip your cycle, if you go in perimenopause early, if you can't have any time with your kids, if you can't be traveling the world, if you can't be enjoying life. Like, there's no reason. Why would we want to do this? I strongly believe in building a business through energetic alignment, through energy, like a business that gives you life force energy, but also relies on your life force energy so that you can grow more effortlessly. And so one of my key realization this year was that scaling your business is an energy game, period. It really is not about the strategies. And funny enough, side note, and I have nothing against this, but I did not scale to 7 figures with any evergreen course, any funnels. I don't have any fancy email sequence. I spent very minimally in Facebook ads, so most of it has been organic, and I have an audience of less than 13,000 people. So I think this year I can say without any doubt that I crack the code on the fact that it is not about the strategies. It's about the energy. It's about the energy you put in. And I'm not saying that I won't do funnels, and I'm not saying that I won't, have these structures maybe in 2025 in my business. That's something I'm looking at. But I'm just saying that the reason I was able to get to that level is purely because of my energy. This year is really the year where I was finally able to just completely, heal and biohack my body, my energy. It's just been incredible. And I was able to have the most energy I've ever had. It's also the year where I was unapologetic about it. I stopped playing small because it's an energy and energetic game. For me, energy happens on many levels. Of course, it's physical. So, I tested and retested my hormones. I fine-tuned, I biohack. I did all the things I had to do for my body to be operating at its, most optimized level with a high level of precision, because I do believe in that. And then there's the emotional energy. The emotional energy is anything that gets stuck in you, whether it is past traumas, old stories, the old belief of wanting to be a victim to be seen, like all this crap. I was able to look at, release, and in real time, feel my feelings, like really learning to master that. And then of course, the energetic energy, which to me, it's all the invisible forces that are at play wherever I wasn't in integrity. Because it's one thing to be wanting to have $1 million business, but hey, are you doing what it takes? Are you consistent? Are you showing up? Are you playing big? Are you putting yourself in big rooms? Are you taking the leap? Are you investing in yourself? Like all these things need to be congruent. It needs to be in coherence. Otherwise, like, why would you be a match for it? You're not. So you got to walk the talk. And so this year, I really observed myself. And by putting myself in masterminds where I felt so small, this was like the best way for me to observe myself and be like, uh-oh, here it comes. Yeah, I'm saying this. I'm not doing that. I say I want this, yet I'm not doing this. So it was really interesting to observe myself, but ultimately it is all in the energy. Because when you do this work, when you start clearing this up, you can show up with so much more convictions, so much more confidence. You can get rid of all these old stories that are slowing you down. You can just get unstuck and start flying, which I feel is what happened. So I'm here to tell you that if you're wanting to scale your business, and I know you are, because I know just like me, you are craving this location freedom. I know you are craving this time freedom, this money freedom, just like me. It's not going to happen in the strategies. The strategies might come and help, but it's ultimately going to be about your energy. So if you are tired, if you feel exhausted, how do you think you can hold more clients? Like you're not a match for that. You got to check in with your energy. If you feel like you're always drained by your clients because you're speaking to the wrong people all day long, how do you think like you're a match for more of that? So really checking in with yourself and being like, okay. It's an energy game.
Fam Biohacker is the movement that gets you to move, to finally go all in on your dream of financial freedom and life fulfillment. It's the place that will get you to harness your energy and start seeing it as your main asset. I created this movement when realizing that success in the online world was an energy game and not so much of a strategic one like we'd been led to believe. I started noticing how when I mastered my energy on a physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic level, I literally became unstoppable. Fam Biohacker is the program that helps you reconnect with your life force. And from that place, women are remembering their soul's mission, creating business masterpieces from their hearts, communicating and marketing their messages with ease, and ultimately feel in alignment in their life while doing it. From this unapologetic stance, energy flows. And you guessed it, money too. So, will you make a move and join us?
And I can tell you 2025, that's going to be so big. Energy is going to be so big because chaos around us is going to continue to grow. And so seeing where you like being really discerning and really being strong and anchored and grounded in your own energy and your own power, not letting anybody else, any external circumstances coming and change that is going to be the game. It's going to be the name of the game. That's going to be the muscle. And so right now, I'm asking you, where can you increase your physical energy? Where can you release some of the emotional crystallization, emotional energy in your body, stuck in your body? And where can you check in with your energetic field? Where are you not in alignment with your desires? And, if you're not already, hopefully you are having an event actually today, Biohacker 2025, which is a 2-part event where we really are going to go deep at looking at that. Because I know now, and I'm so good at it now, like the minute someone talks to me, I know what gets in the way. It's incredible. In fact, 2024 was also the year where everybody's asked me if I was a psychic because my clairvoyant gifts came back online. It's like, I see through you. I see through the stories you're trying to convince yourself of. I see through your excuses. I see through you. So I'm hosting these events now in order for you to be able to taste my medicine so that you can really, really get clear on where you are being held back. So if you're not already in Biohacker 2025, I'm going to put the link in the show notes because you can still join us anytime. We have a session today and the other one is on January 7th. It's a 2-part event. You get the replays for the entire year, but most importantly, you get the most epic workbook, like a big journal that's going to help you set intentions and clear old energetic gunk, basically. We're going to get rid of that, open your field so that you can start manifesting with more ease. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to repeat it. It's already an energy game, but 2025, that's going to be the name of the game. So check in with yourself. So that was my number one realization amongst myself and my clients, actually, because I also saw how some of them had really great momentum and then their energy crashed. Whether for relationship reasons, for, family reasons, whatever the reason. And then their business also had a step back. So it's important to see, okay, how can I create structures that are going to be supporting my energy? For example, I'm saying I am non-negotiable about my minimum 2-hour morning routine in the morning. Like it's non-negotiable. And by the way, I wrote an ebook on that. If you haven't grabbed it, I'm going to put the link in the show note also, but it's like this 20+ page ebook where I share everything I do in those 2 hours. And trust me, you don't have to start with that. I didn't start with that. But now, if I don't have that, I know I'm not at my peak. I know I can't be at my peak if I'm not taking this time with myself, if I'm not taking this time to regulate, to open my channels, to receive downloads, to have access to my feminine energy, my creativity. And so, yeah, that's really important. So check in with yourself. Now, here's my second realization. That might surprise you. You might be expecting like a big strategic thing. But here was something that set me free. And I'm so grateful for it. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for it. One thing that allowed me to reach this like scaling and this up leveling this year is realizing that I don't need people to get what I do. I don't need people to get it. I don't, because people already thought I was crazy. They've thought that all my life. They already barely understood what I was doing, even when I had a corporate job, imagine. So how can I expect them to understand what I'm doing now? Like there's nothing conventional about what I do. There's nothing conventional about what I teach. There's nothing conventional about what I post. And so I don't need their permission. I don't need them to get it because they didn't even get it, even when I was in the corporate with a title, a business card, and a clear job description. So imagine now. What matters, and this is what I realized, what matters is that my ideal client knows. It's all that matters because my ideal client is magnetized to my conviction and to my message. and they're going to get it. Now, if you're listening to this, you're probably one of those people. Like if you're here, it's because you get it. You get it, what I do. You understand there's a frequency, there's a feeling. You feel different after listening to a podcast episode. Like it lifts you up. It lights you up. It puts like a fire under your butt. And that's because I'm activating you. And that's because you understand you are a match for that frequency. But not everybody is. And I gave myself permission to stop caring about that this year. I just thought, not everybody will get it and they don't need to. I need to stop. Like I completely stopped this year justifying myself, trying to explain what I was doing. Like, I don't care. I really don't, because I have so much evidence now. Like I know that my work is life-changing. I don't need anybody else. I don't need like my uncle and my neighbor and my aunt. And like, I don't need these people to understand. It doesn't matter, because ultimately the work I do is not for them. It's for my ideal client. And so what that allowed me to do is it created space for me to start talking to my ideal client right straight in the eyes only, and not caring about anything else, just clearing the noise. And yes, that comes with trawling. And I'm really good at blocking and deleting these people immediately because I don't want them in my space anyway. Like I feel so proud of the audience I have created. Like I have a really small audience on Instagram, like 13,000 people. But I feel like these women, it's like that community is like the bomb. It's like really high quality. It's people that want to be activated. It's people that want to be the leaders of their lives. They're already successful and they're looking at like peak performance, fine tuning, energy, like all the stuff that nobody's ever talked to them about. They're like, wait, what? Like I just need to start doing the inner work and this kind of abundance is going to flow. Like, wait, what? Those are the women I speak to. And I feel like now my conviction is through the roof. And this was such a liberating realization. And I'm sharing it with you because I want to give it to you. Take it and run with it. Like apply it to your life and start asking yourself, what would I do if I didn't care, if they didn't understand? What would I do differently? What would I post differently? What would I say differently if I didn't care? I tell you, it changes everything. It changes everything. And the other thing I realized is when you start doing this work, there's going to be duality and polarity, because you might feel like right now my conviction and my self-confidence is maybe triggering for you, or maybe you find this arrogant also. And all of it is okay, because this is the other thing I've realized that comes with this second realization. I can't expect for everybody, like I said, to get it. But let's say I post something online that's very unapologetic, like a badass look with maybe like a badass caption. And it's like a mic drop type of content. Like it's a strong message. The people that don't know me, it'll stop them in their track. They'll be like, who is this person? Where has she been all her life? Okay. So some people will be magnetized to this content. They'll find it. And trust me, every day there's people coming from, I don't know where. Okay. There's people coming into my world from magical places every single day, every single hour of every single day. And I'm so grateful for that. And they're magnetized to this content, and they're in my DMs after one account, seeing one post. They're like, oh my gosh, like, who are you? But at the same time, this same piece of content in some people will trigger something like, well, oh my gosh, look at her. Who does she think she is? So the idea is that in 2024, I decided to be the disruption and not the norm. I decided to fully embody that. And I'm saying this because I know that you have this in you. I know it because Disruptor was one of the most powerful events I did in 2024. And it just like reignited people to remember, like, why am I taking advice from people who haven't walked the path I'm wanting to walk? Why am I taking advice from people who are not living my dream life? Why am I taking advice from people who are playing small, who are people pleasers? Why am I taking advice still to this day as a grown-up woman from people who care more about themselves than their big mission? And so this year, I decided to step out of the norm and to get people to talk because it was more unapologetic. And I know that this is only the beginning of this version of me. Buckle up, my friends, because there's a reason why I launched the bigger game, which is my new mastermind. There's a reason why I launched this because I need to play the bigger game. I am the bigger game. I am playing the bigger game. I'm all in. And so now I'm ready to invite people to come and play that bigger game with me. Which, by the way, if you're looking for a mastermind, if you're on your way to 7 figures, there's still a couple spots left for the bigger game, which is my first mastermind that we will have for 7 months starting mid-January. And that includes even 2 days in Miami. So this is the thing. When you get to this level of conviction, I want to play. I want to play the bigger game, but ultimately I want to play. There's never been a most exciting year in my entire life. I can say this. And because I get to be more for my children. I get to be more for my husband. I get to be more for myself. I get to be more for my clients. I get to be more. I get to be more for my soul's mission. I get to be more for my heart. And this is when we get to play, when we get to achieve, this level of enlightenment, of fun in life. And this is why we're here. Ultimately, we are in this lifetime to achieve joy, bliss, to have fun, to laugh, to love, to play. In 2025, that's the vibe for me. We already have a lot of big projects, big plans. It's going to be another big ballsy move type of year, but I'm here for it. I wouldn't do it any other way. And so what can you take away from this conversation? If you're here, I know you have big dreams. You probably already are successful and maybe you want to crack the code. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be into another one of these like evergreen funnel type of courses. It's not where it's at. It's going to be really doing the inner work, the inner game, the energetics, looking at your energy, the physical, the emotional piece, looking at your identity, your mindset, and looking at what you are bringing with you or not bringing with you in your business and the type of magnetism that you're able to attract from that place. So if you feel like, okay, this is the game I'm ready to play, that's what I teach in Femme Biohacker. That's the way I want women to be doing business because that's how we get to thrive instead of feeling burnt out. We've been lied to. Growing a business is not anymore about strategies. Like the patriarchy, like all that can go. Thank you. Bye-bye. We've learned from that. Moving on. There's a new sheriff in town and it's called feminine energy. And I'm not saying masculine energy is not important. It really is. Okay. Because that's what I teach also, embodiment of full harmony of both of these energies. But it is really an energy game. And once you realize that, you become unstoppable, unshakable. And that's what I want you to be. So my friends, it's been a ride. And tomorrow we are beginning 2025 for a brand new, fresh ride. And I want you to think about, can you let go of this need for everybody to love you? Can you let go of this need for everybody to get what you do? Can you just be yourself? Can you just do what you're here to do? And can you just allow yourself, give yourself permission to go all in on your dreams? Because friend, this is your life. This is your life. If you are not going all in, every day that passes is wasted. Go all in. Love more, play more, laugh more, connect more, support more, help more, be of service more. Just open your heart, open it wide, and then expect miracles to arrive. And when they come, receive them, notice them, appreciate them, celebrate them. Okay, I feel like that was a big preacher moment, but I do think it was appropriate for the last episode of the year. Now, we also got to celebrate our 100th episode. I tell you, 2024 was just like one milestone after the next. So I want to thank you for being on this journey with me. It's a wild ride over here in my world, and it's because of you. So thank you. Thank you for being here week after week. Thank you for your feedback, your comments. And, as I always say, the best way you can support me in this work and in continuing to offer you this high quality, high value work for free is by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This is how I get confirmation that this is helpful for you. This is also how we get other women just like you and me to come and join us in this community and find the podcast. And that's really what I want in 2025 is more women like us to get it. So help me on that mission. If you haven't done so already, if you could share a 5-star review, take a minute and just let me know why you love coming and hanging out every Tuesday with me here. That would mean the world to me. Now, on that note, I want to thank you. I want to invite you to really close this year intentionally. If you're not with us in Biohack Your 2025, take a moment to journal, to celebrate the incredible things you have accomplished this year, the breakthroughs you had, and take a moment to open your field and be very clear on what you want to call in this year and what you want to open yourself to and how you want to start playing the bigger game for you as well. I love you. And I cannot wait to see you back in 2025. Bye for now.
The information shared on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't provide any medical advice. Vanessa Grutman does not cure, diagnose, or treat disease. Please consult your physician before trying any new protocol or product.